gear like they're in an NWA video in 1990. Straight out of Compton.
Yeah. And you get that, and then you get the panda or the koala or some kind of animal on the tail. And sometimes they...
Yeah, that's new, though.
Yeah, that's that. And I saw one of them painted like a killer whale. Because, whales fly.
What was your favorite? So you had all these inventions, but I was the youngest of three, and I was the only boy. Right. So my inventions were mostly I had Gary Goldman and I had the same thing where our Matchbox car guys. Yeah, you'd flick them off the picnic table, but I would interview them. I was the guy. Always talking.
You always had a talk show.
Always had to talk.
Look at you.
So I would interview the drivers before their big jump, and then when they landed,
like G.I. Joe or Action Jackson.
No, there's nobody in the car. I used my imagination at them. There's no people in the cars because the cars are too small to house a human.
Oh, okay, fine. So you're not working on your craft. You're working on your excuses. Please go on.
Yeah, you're right. You got my number. This is like being on O&A. It's great. So I would interview the drivers, and then I was alone a lot as a kid. Yeah. Everyone was 2 years older than me in the neighborhood. So like when junior high started, I was out, and then we got back together for a year. And then when high school started, I was way out. Yeah. But my grandfather, not the giraffe grandfather, my mother's father had a beach house. No, it's where he lived. It's my beach. In Bayville, New Jersey. So bottom line, I had my own boat. And I was alone. I'd go crabbing and stuff in Barnegat Bay. And I would interview myself. Like, this is the world's youngest captain in the Navy. He's 12 years old. He's and I would do like these. It's so sad.
That's great. What's sad? Come on. That's
alone on a boat. People are like, look at that young man fishing, talking to himself. No, and I'm on 60 Minutes. In the back of the boat going, well, and I remember I would take his nautical books about knots, and I would learn nautical terms and knots.
And just throw them in?
To prepare for tomorrow's interview. I never told anybody that in my life.
That's great.
And be like, all right.
What are you doing, Jay? I'm working. I got a big day tomorrow.
Big day tomorrow. I'm going out to where the boathouse used to be in Barnegat Bay. Okay, so there's a petty officer. There's an ensign. The Coast Guard employs a coxsman.
A coxsman.
Okay, the semaphore. I had to learn
with a lot of candy on the ceiling.
A lot of candy. Yes, and I learned like certain semaphore flags, and I had like port and starboard.
It's like, what is that old canoe commercial? You're like waving. Was that the cologne?
That was me. That was you. And I remember port and starboard was the bane of my existence.
Right and left.
One's right, one's left. And to this day, I think port is right and starboard's left.
Port's left.
Other way?
Yeah, port's left.
Oh, because starboard has 2 R's in it, so that's right.
Okay, starboard's right.
That's how I remember pretty much all dialogue.
Fore and aft?
I don't know.
That's bow and stern.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Fore is the front.
Yeah, bow.
That's easy.
Aft is the back, yeah.
The fore is the front, the bow.
Right.
And the stern is the back.
Yeah.
The bathroom's the head.
Right, good.
And I would just learn stuff like that.
And you were a 12-year-old captain.
I was the youngest captain in the Navy.
Oh, you were in the Navy?
So I had to learn Navy stuff.
The American Navy?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
The Peruvian Navy.
I didn't know.
Glass-bottom submarines.
You know what I like? You're 12 years old talking to yourself on the water. I ask one question and you're fucking questioning me. You're studying for a conversation the next day you're having with yourself. Right. And you're giving me shit for asking the question.
Right, because I'm jealous that I didn't have a circular driveway as a child. We had one driveway, and I remember if the car was parked in the driveway, it was a much better. If there was no cars in the driveway, if nobody was home yet, the wiffle ball game would take forever because you had to keep chasing down the ball.
Yeah.
So then we've learned late, like we were idiots. We learned late, you take the picnic table and set it straight up on its end as a backstop, but then all the curveballs are going to the side. That's only if you're hitting strikes. So then every lawn chair. Yep. It basically, we just looked like we were. Backstop. Yeah, it just looked like a game of Tetris with furniture.
Before Tetris.
And then my parents would come home, and you'd have to just remove everything, and then thank God I can bounce this car off the back of a Ford Fairmont. Like, and the parents don't know. Yeah. And just like, and I remember, you know what? Now that you said it, I remember if it hit the license plate of the car, like that's
just
a
strike.
You can't argue around that.
Yeah.
It just hit the license plate. But then the argument becomes, it did not hit I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I saw you hit it. No, how could you see you were batting? And there's a big argument.
Did you ever have Olympics with your neighborhood friends?
No. We just
Olympics.
You just do the Olympics?
Yeah, I remember I'd set up like picnic
benches.
How
authentic were you? Early Grease? Naked?
For the wrestling.
Running and naked? Oh, okay.
For the Greco-Roman wrestling.
That's why I quit. I'm like, I'm not wearing the superhero costume.
I remember when we were done jumping human bodies over the picnic benches with the ramp.
Oh, okay.
Remember you line your buddies up like barrels, like even like buses, but they were humans. And the kid on the end was always like trying to lay on top of the guy next to him. He's like, get off me. What are you? What are you, a gay?
A gay.
And you just go over on your red line bike, boom, and you'd clear it or not.
What bike did you? I had a Ross Apollo 5-speed. Remember the black one?
Yeah,
with the shifter on the. It was the coolest thing. It had the shifter right on the bar.
Yeah, but that got too heavy when we started jumping stuff.
Yeah,
when you started going up and down curves, it was like a big box. It was like it was like in your language on your Top Gear show.
Yes,
it was a lot like a Mustang GT in a Porsche world.
Oh, look at you!
A little too heavy, center of gravity.
I would have gone with a Challenger. It's a heavier car, but I like where you're going, my friend.
Look, this is a guy having circular driveway conversations with himself. I ask one question, and he corrects me with a Challenger.
That's right.
A Dodge Challenger?
Thank you for imputing my imagination as well.
I don't even know what imputing means.
Dodge Challenger.
We used to set up the picnic benches. Those were the hurdles. Mm-hmm. And there was the long benches. Yeah, and then there was the smaller ones. So there was 4 hurdles.
Okay.
Run around the garage, pick up. There's like that stick that your father would make to hold up when the clothesline would sag. Your dad would just take like a big, like a 2x4, and cut a divot in the top, so the clothesline would not sag so much because it had basically like a support beam in the basement, but for a clothesline. So we would take that. That was the javelin throw. Then there was the brick, like you just shot put a brick.
Yeah.
And then it was like there's something and weird shit like. Then you get on the fence, and you got to walk on the fence the length of the fence.
That's the balance beam?
I guess, but it's like there was no rhyme or reason. And then climb the tree and come down, and we would time each other like 1, 2, 3, and then but we were hustling.
That's great.
You guys never did that.
No,
I guess
what we did was remember the Olympics when the United States beat Russia and everyone went bullshit.
1980.
Kid, 1980.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's my dad? Where's my dad? Where's my dad? Jim Craig looking up in the stands looking for his father. So we would we had the Milek street hockey stuff, the Milek balls, and we couldn't afford like the pads for the goalies, so we actually cut couch cushions. You unzip the couch cushions because they had and we took those couch cushions and just duct taped them to the dumbest kid we could find.
First you have to take the plastic off your guinea couch.
Yeah, okay.
Your Long Island.
No, that's in the living room. Are you kidding? No one goes in there. Sinatra might come here. If Sinatra visits, this is the room he's going to sit down in. Nobody sits on that couch till Frank is here. Dust off that
the
picture
autumn
of the
wind. Well, who said that? Unzip it, Grandma. I was just singing in the shower. So what? You go to the rec room and get those?
Go downstairs. Right?
Boy.
Downstairs. You unzip the couch. Right? You take the zipper off and you take the cushions out, and then you duct tape them.
I was going to say, how do you put them on the dumb guy?
Duct tape.
And then getting
them
off.
Goalie.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting off. We'd cut the duct tape, but you never could pull it off because you would rip the cushion. So we put them back in there, and you had to put them with the duct tape on, so you would feel it. So we had to make sure we put them in upside down, so no one would feel it and open. Go, what's wrong with this cushion? So it was a whole thing, just putting shit back, so no one knew you took them in. Oh, you cut them out, you unzip them, and then you just shove them back in there again.
Never go back in the right way.
I know, it's like getting cereal back in the box. Look, I didn't say it looked good. I just said we got it back in.
That's why he didn't use the good. It was the downstairs room. Everyone downstairs was drunk anyway.
I'm not going to use the Castro convertible. I'm not crazy. I'm going to use the cheap couch downstairs.
Remember Rick?
Oh, my mother got this at Ethan Allen. This is only for company.
This is for company. I like the rule too. Like don't drink that. It's not open yet. Remember that one? The 2-liter bottle of like knee high, and you go to get like no, that's not open yet.
Yeah, well, like, open it.
Well, yeah, I can change that right now.
You can't open that.
It's not open yet. Don't open it because it's not open. Like it was a complete Zen Buddhist philosophy or a mind fuck. You're either being gaslit or becoming a monk. Yeah. Don't open that. It's not open yet.
Oh my God, I never thought of that.
And then when that makes sense, you become enlightened and you're Siddhartha.
Then that's Satori. That's when you reach that moment. You
it
can
is
have
open
soda.
because it's not open. That becomes the Zen nonsense of it all.
If a soda spills in the forest,
yes,
and no one is there to lick it up, did it really spill?
Hey, what am I, a fucking woodsman now?
Okay, fine. We'll get out of the forest. Go back on the boat. Tomorrow's interview. Here's your book. Story up.
Back on the boat.
Back on the boat.
I remember I couldn't have an engine on my boat because everyone was afraid, rightfully so, that I'd wind up killing myself. So it was a rowboat. Mm-hmm. That's how I got this monster back, Adam Ferrara, from rowing. It was a mile row.
We had a boat. We used to go camping in Lake George, New York. Oh, did I do that?
No, you're fine.
We used to go camping in Lake George.
He doesn't like to be pinched, my son, apparently.
Oh.
That's what that sound is. We just pinch them all day. Wear them out. That's the game with a 1-year-old. How tired can I make you?
Yeah.
So that 7:30, I get 1 hour of internet access uninterrupted.
That's all. Look, I just need SportsCenter. I just need SportsCenter and I'll be
okay.
Oh,
SportsCenter went out the window years ago.
Really?
Yeah. It's LMNs, a lot of Lifetime movies, and I like them. Like murder shows, ID, investigation.
I got them on the Netflix.
Oh, the best.
I got that one. What did I just see last? Remember Bill Curtis when Bill Curtis had the?
I'm Bill Curtis. I'm not sure what to do with my hands, so I interlock my fingers, and when I make a point, I'll wave one of them.
And that's how we caught him.
I like the new one now is I'm Maureen Maher. Maureen Maher does it now, and she used to be always on like a sound stage of an abandoned building. So they had an abandoned building which you go, what price would you pay for love? I'm Maureen Maher. In 1982, and then she would do her thing in an abandoned building.
Right.
But now apparently ID Investigate has decided that we're spending way too much money to have Maureen Maher in an abandoned building. So they've green screened an abandoned building, and then when she turns to do her copy, they'll like, this is only a network could fuck up an abandoned building shot. So it's her in like a video game of, like she's playing Duck Hunt. It looks like it's absurd looking. A dog's gonna come up and go hee and laugh at her. And so then when she turns to face the other camera, it's like the different angle of the fictional abandoned building, and you're like, really? Like it was just too expensive.
Just terrible.
Like, I'm pretty sure you're shooting this in a somewhat abandoned building. It's a soundstage. Just have her stand. Put a body on the ground. Dress it up.
Do that Dominic Dunn thing where you shoot
Jane
the wraparounds.
Mansfield. Unchill Jane Mansfield.
Jane needs ice. You don't smell that?
Jane needs ice. No, I need her for the Maher piece.
Oh.
That's why we uniced her.
Bring in the body.
So yeah, we used to do a lot of. Don't open that. It's not open yet.
I used to eat this. I'm only going to throw it out. It's like I'm the last stop before the garbage can. Eat it because I'm going to throw it out. If you don't eat it, I'm going to throw it out. Like that's a threat.
It seems like every conversation.
I can't let that happen to the last piece of meatloaf. Fucking throw it out.
You're responsible for. If you don't eat, you are responsible for me wasting food. That's really what it is.
I hope you're happy.
It really is. Every conversation we had with our parents on the East Coast was a Paul Reiser conversation from Diner. I'm just saying it's not open yet, so I wouldn't open it. I mean, you could open it if you want, but I would like it if you
I
didn't.
would not be so bold.
Because it's not open yet, because no one has opened it.
All right.
Deeming it open-worthy.
I mean, can we?
I'm not saying don't open it. I'm just saying if you are going to open it, it's not open yet.
That's obviously a choice. And if you're comfortable making this choice, Jay,
I'm not saying. Who are these people?
Who are these people that think they can just go around opening stuff that's not open? Wait till it's open. You know why? Because I was raised right. That's why.
You know the difference between Seinfeld and Paul Reiser?
What is that?
Who are these people? Who are these people?
That's it. The inflection. Very good.
I just did a benefit for Alonzo Bowden, and Paul Reiser was on the bill, and I'm like, all right, old man, let's see what you fucking...
He's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's
good. Like, shame on me.
Yeah, he's good.
Because I'm like, all right, Reiser. Like, he just came down from his house on the hills with that syndication money, and he told a story about him and his wife finding a dead goat on the beach in Malibu.
And it's fucking
hysterical. And it was a 10-minute story because his wife was like, well, how did the goat get here? And he goes, I don't know. It's a dead goat. Why don't we just keep walking?
Yep.
It's a dead goat. I don't need to know. You know what I don't need to know? I don't need to know how the goat got here. I know we're walking in Malibu. There's a dead goat on the beach. Why don't we get away from the dead goat? And his wife goes, but there's no goat footprints. I'm like, I don't care. That's not my... And it just kept going and go. And like, there's no... If it washed up on shore, it's not wet. And like, maybe somebody came out in a helicopter, threw a goat out the window. It landed here. Why don't we walk? We're still standing by a dead goat. We could be away from the goat. We could be up by the pier by now, enjoying a romantic evening. Instead, we're standing and talking about dead goats. Right. But there's no foot, like the beach is clear. I don't know how to go. It just kept going, and it was incredible.
And he carried it.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
And a sweetheart.
Those guys, I mean.
And rich.
Really? He's got the money.
Well, yeah, I mean, syndication, 100 episodes, you're in.
That doesn't happen anymore.
It can.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen, 2.5 Men, he's got the syndication money. He's up and running.
Yeah, he played that right.
Yeah, he left $50 million on the table to leave with his reputation intact, in quotes.
Okay. He did the commercial for the Fiat under house arrest. He drove the Abarth, the tuned version of the Fiat. He drives it in a house. That's the little.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, you see, it's pretty cool.
The other one.
You know who used to do that stuff? Who I used to be amazed Remember when Hackett used to have was it the Serengeti?
Sangita.
That
fucking
like that.
Animal charity wrote me into doing all the time.
I got into that. I used to see you at that every year too.
Yes, because he was like a father to me, and I couldn't. He goes, "Look, I know you don't care, but it would just mean a lot to Sherry if you could show up."